ShinRobjira.
What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I'm ShinRobjira, and today we're doing a tier maker video for the first time in
I see you tomorrow.
Freckle Pasta Hair. And of course, we're going to be talking about the 2022 releases from the Bandai Movie Monster series. So, here we are. Now let's get the easy stuff out of the way first, because despite my love of the Bandai Movie Monster series, there is a lot of stuff here that I just didn't pick up this year. So, Goji Hams. Didn't pick any of them up. Really wanted to, because I do enjoy these designs for these figures. I love that Godzilla's head is like a hood and you can kind of like take it off of Hamtaro's head. Really, really cool stuff. Unfortunately as well, I did not partake in any of the 2022 releases from Shin Ultraman, despite really wanting to. Yeah, a lot was going down this year. The Godzilla store was zapping my money, a whole bunch of other places were zapping my money, so really partaking in anything that I wasn't directly interested in, even though I was directly interested in these, it was kind of impossible, and I do apologize, and I still do want to do the whole Shin Ultraman vinyl figure roundup video, but we still haven't seen the February or March 2023 reveals yet, and there already is a lot marked to come out this year, so I kind of don't want to toss all of my money into one offerings basket before I know what I'm dealing with this year beyond what we do know. Might as well toss the anime Ultraman figures in there because I really don't have any interest in them at all. Not these or any of the ones coming out. It's just a personal matter. And unfortunately for me, I did not partake in any of the Kamen Rider Black figures, which is a shame. That was a burp, not a hiccup, because they do look really, really good. I love how these things look, and the last time I checked on HLJ, they're still sold out, so fuck. Look at all we have left over here. There's enough to make a top 5 Bandai Movie Monster series figures from 2022 video. Should I? Let me know. Although this video would kind of defeat the purpose of that because you're going to know what I find the best out of all of them, so probably not. Up first, we have Bebe Anguirus from Godziban, and I think this is a pretty damn good figure. It's lacking in some areas, sure, but hey, a new Showa-era design Anguirus figure in the year 2022. Still welcome today. So I'm gonna put Baby Angugu Dolls in great because it is great. Speaking of great, we have Base Vinyl Gamera 96 over here. We waited, we finally got it, and now we have Gamera Rebirth hype to live off of indefinitely. Oh my god. Gamera, Godzilla 2023, all of the rumored stuff with pre-order listings already. It's gonna be a busy year for the Movie Monster series, and I'm ready, because I'm the Bandai boy. Gamera's gonna go in best because he really is just one of the best Movie Monster series figures of the year. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the best, we have the new Hedorah mold, which absolutely spanks the 2006 mold by a significant margin. Taller, better detail. Paint could have used a tiny bit more, mostly for the tail. The machine paintedness kind of put me off just a little bit. Really love the color blending of the 06 mold, but that does not defeat the purpose that this brand new Hedorah mold is one of the best releases of 2022. It's facts. Alrighty, up next is Gigan Rex, and I might as well toss Junior, or Goji Rex as I like to call him, right on next to him. Gigan, personally, it's a good figure. I wouldn't say it's one of the best, but at the same time, I really like the paint that they used. I like that most of it is metallic, so I wouldn't put it in decent. I'm a little weary about putting it in great, but in comparison to his release brother, I would put Gigan Rex in great, and I would put Goji Rex in meh. I understand a lot of people, judging by the like to dislike ratio, were a little bit miffed at just how wordy I was about the blanketness of this Godzilla, but I still feel the same way. I think more should have been done with it. The tail particularly just sticks out like a sore thumb, and I know I'm not doing that anymore, but it just feels excruciatingly lazy. I love the mold. I love the detail. It's a cool looking design, and knowing that this is probably going to be the only version of the design that we get from the Movie Monster series at least, this sucks. No. So, Godzilla 1984 has brand new life in the Movie Monster series as a limited Movie Monster series release. It's great to finally have this mold back on the market for however long it will be in the market. And hey, yo, I like it. It lacks a little bit of paint from the original release, but like I said in that video, he didn't really need the highlights. Still do kind of wish the tail was fully painted. But based on what we got, yeah, I'd put it in decent. Yeah, it's fun. Fun to have, great to have even. But in this case, I wouldn't put it up there with Anguirus or Giganrex or Gamera and Hedorah. I wouldn't. Movie Monster Series Jet Beta. I was hoping this figure would get made. It got made. I love it to death. I truly do. And I believe this was the first release of the year that showed Bandai using plastic for their vinyl figures. I believe it was for his waist and thigh regions there. And it all makes sense because if it were vinyl, I don't know how well that would stand over time. But the paint applications are great. The articulation is about what I expected. I finally got it. Was really hoping for a version of this guy with his spear. But all that being said, he's gonna go in very, very high tier grade. Yes, some of that is my bias, but no, I really do think it's a great figure. Up next is Baby Rodan, or Radon. I'm sorry, there is a difference. And little Baby Radon is a very, very nice figure. I really do enjoy him and his cuteness, but I wouldn't put him in great. I'm definitely not going to put him in meh, so we're just going to toss him in there with decent. A decent, fun, enjoyable release. And then everybody's favorite monkey lizard. What was his name? Not Gabara? Dear God, I actually forgot his name. Salunga. There we go. Salunga. Do very much still enjoy it, and I would put him more so on the lower end of great, not high tier great. There's a couple of things about that figure that kind of stop it from being best or high tier great, but still one of the better releases, yes. Is my logic confusing any of you right now? It's confusing the shit out of me. All right, limited movie monster series Varen. Top tier detail. The paint that does exist on this thing is magnificent, but god damn is this thing under fucking painted! Look me in the eye. I'm aware that I complain about paint on vinyl figures, which are now categorized as kids' toys. My reasoning here is that one, it's a Godzilla store exclusive, a limited Movie Monster series release. You're paying a little bit more, you should be getting a little bit more. And two, this is Varen's very first vinyl figure, and about as much love went into this figure as it did his friggin' movie, because I'm sorry, the movie's just... Oh. No, wait, go back. I was just stating my opinion. I'm not saying you have to agree with me on that. If you love Varen, the movie, more power to you, and the figure as well. But for me personally, not a fan of the movie. Love the figure, just... Varen is going to go in meh. But he's going to go before Goji Rex because I still think he looks better than Goji Rex. Anyway, a top tier release from 2022 is going to be Megaguirus. I was not expecting this figure to slap as hard as she did, and she did. Paint both sides of the wings. Detail. Beautifully remade from the Toho Kaiju series mold to the Movie Monster series. Looking, feeling, smelling, articulating, fantastic. Megaguirus is gonna go up there in best. I'm sorry. More paint than expected. I would say a nearly perfected mold, honestly. And with the addition of the plastic undercarriage of legs, this looks like I'm groping titties. I'm hoping that this becomes a bit of a norm for the winged characters with legs. Mothra, especially. Because honestly, it just makes putting the figures on a shelf so much easier because they have something that'll prop them upwards. So they look cool and they look like they're looking up at you, and it's really nice, yeah. Now we have Batra, Megaguirus' release sibling. Good figure. Could have used a little bit more paint on the underside and everything, and I'm still a stickler for those friggin' white ass teeth that it didn't have in the friggin' movie. This is the extent to which I bitch about. I am complaining about teeth color on a vinyl figure. You see, even I know I'm friggin' ridiculous, but I like what I like. Doesn't mean I'm right, but, you know. I would put Batra in decent, but I would put Batra in the middle of the decent pile right here, for sure. Had they just outlined the fucking red streaks on the undersides of the wings with yellow, this would be a great release for sure. Yeah, ShinRobjira bitching about the undersides of wings that you're really not going to see that much. It still doesn't make it right. Speaking of making things right, Golden Hedorah, which I thought would have been the final Hedorah variant, but then we got Choco Hedorah. It's honestly becoming a meme at this point, just how many repaints the movie monster series is putting out of Hedorah, but I'm the one, I think maybe one of the only people out there that genuinely enjoys the fact that Hedorah is getting so many friggin' repaints. I know a lot of people would much prefer if Bandai did other things, but you need to realize something here. Godzilla vs. Hedorah is based, and Hedorah is based. And we're getting even more Hedorah, hopefully, this year. So, I would definitely say that Golden Hedorah is, like, probably one of the better repaints. And since we're on the subject of Hedorah, oh man, Pink Hedorah. Retro Pink Hedorah, two of the best repaints of that Hedorah mold to be released, for sure. Love them both so very dearly. Golden Hedorah was done perfectly, but Retro Pink Hedorah, bro, not even gonna lie, better than Gold Hedorah, easily. Cotton Candy Vaporwave tag. Alrighty, and then up next is Daimajin. I've been waiting for a Daimajin figure in the movie monster series since 2021, I believe, when Arrow Video released the Daimajin trilogy. Upon first seeing the promos for this, I thought it was Daimajin too, because he didn't have the nail in his head. And I imagine a lot of people thought I was ridiculous, that I was bitching about a vinyl figure of Daimajin not having a nail in his head, because the whole 9 yards, yeah, I get it. I fully understand why people would be fed up with that review by the end of it, because it's like, Rob, shut the fuck up about the nail in the head. I'm sorry, I'm a Daimajin fanboy now. But in the back of my mind, in my little head canon over here, they did it because they're going to do variants of the other two, right? You just gotta change the paint. That's pretty simple, right? Yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But with all that being said, I feel like the figure could have used a little bit more, and yeah, no presence of the nail in the head, so I'm gonna put Daimajin in high tier meh. Love that it exists. Want more of it and from it. There you go. So up next we have Shin Kamen Rider coat version. This is my first Kamen Rider figure in quite a very long time. I think the last time I actually got Kamen Rider figures was from C-Town. C-Town was this nifty little corner store run by this lovely Thai gentleman, and a lot of the figures he had in there were either self-made bootlegs or just bootlegs. Most of the official stuff was behind the counter and everything, but this was like a corner store. They sold snacks, foods, drinks there and everything, but the guy just had such a huge heart for toys. I can't explain it any better than that. I didn't mean to go off on a life story here, but the Shin Kamen Rider figure is very, very good. Featured a lot more paint than expected, a lot of really, really great details, and this might be a little on the controversial side, but I would say it's one of the greater figures from last year for sure. It's simple, it gets the point across, it just works, dude. What else do you want me to say? It works. And I'm all the more excited to get the rest of the Shin Kamen Rider figures from the movie monster series, and hopefully the SH figure. Shin Kamen Rider. I need a pre-order link. So it wasn't just Kamen Rider and Daimajin that finally entered the movie monster series. Evangelion did as well, with more rumored releases scheduled for this year. So we have Eva Unit 1 and Eva Unit 2. I feel they translate well into vinyl figures. I mean, can't really expect much from vinyl figures in terms of articulation, and I feel like these things did just enough. Hate that the tags were a little fucked up, but for the most part, I'm excited to see where the Evangelion line in the movie monster series is going. And I'm hoping for some... Do they have an Evangelion store? I think they do. I bet they do. I'm hoping for some exclusives of these figures as well. Metallic paint, glow in the dark, whatever. We are going to toss these in decent because they were good releases. They were just fine releases. They didn't need... well, they needed quite a bit. They didn't need too much. They needed a little bit more. But yeah. Okie dokie, we have two more figures left. First up is the retro color version of Gigan. Now, I still find it weird, we're gonna go face cam for this, I still find it weird that in the year of Gigan, we got more Hedorah than we got Gigan. And yeah, the SH Monster Arts Gigan looks fantastic, it does. But I was hoping Bandai would get a little more on the creative side with Gigan, because dude's turning 50, and I'm not saying this is a bad release. I'm not trying to communicate that. But just the fact that we only got one movie monster series Gigan, and I think they reissued the reissue last year. It was just the same thing. that we got in, what was it, 2019? 2018? Whenever the Showa Gigan figure got reissued in the movie monster series. It's the same exact mold. It's been the same exact mold for a very long time. I was kind of hoping for a new mold like what we got with Hedorah. I think it's about time Bandai tried something new with this. Preferably an open mouth. That's just me, though. Not a bad figure, but pretty lackluster in terms of, hey, it's Gigan's anniversary. Wouldn't put it in great. I'd actually put it in decent. Yeah. So now, 2002 Kiryu. The first Movie Monster Series 2002 Kiryu figure in 20 years. Hopefully I got the math on that right. Now, I gave this figure a pretty warm reception for everything that it managed to accomplish. It's a cheaper and more readily available figure as compared to the 8-inch Kiryu figures, which are loads better. I really do enjoy the blue that they used on this figure, but it still is very much lacking in paint, like severely lacking in paint. And just the fact that 03 Kiryu, which came out a couple of years before this one, has more paint on it than this thing does. It's like, did Bandai just trade wiring paint for all that blue? Because if that's the case, what are you doing, Bandai? For what it is, it's good. Absolutely. It's good to have another Kiryu figure on the market. But in comparison to everything else here, I'd still put that in meh. A little bit higher tier meh, because at the end of the day, I could still say more about the paint job on this thing than either of these figures. Actually, we're going to do that. Either of those three figures. So I'd give them that, and it's cool that it was a completely different mold from the 03 variant, be it with the size of the thighs or the height, whatever. It was cool, but it should have been a lot more. It could have been a lot more. And that, friends and neighbors, is my 2022 Bandai Movie Monster Series tier list. From best to worst to did not buy. Maybe I'm being a little too kind on Varen and Goji Rex, but by putting something in not good, I feel like that would kind of communicate that I regret buying it, and I don't regret buying any of these figures whatsoever. I'm happy to have them in my collection. Absolutely happy, because, you know, Varen vinyl figure, new Godzilla design vinyl figure, Kiryu vinyl figure, which now it's my third one. Technically my fourth. But anyway, I do so hope you enjoyed this tier maker video thingamabob, and if you want to make your own and share them in the ShinRobjira Discord server, I will leave a link in the description below. Yes, I have a Discord server, link in the description below as well. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll get around to the Godzilla Designs tier list at some point when I feel like doing it. I actually really do like doing these videos, but I got burnt out on this pretty quick last year, and I'd rather that not happen this year. So I hope you enjoyed. Let me know some of your favorite Movie Monster Series figures from 2022. We can have a discussion about it in the comment section below. This is already about to be 30 minutes long, so I'm going to cut it off here. Have yourselves a lovely night, fantastic day, afternoon, or night, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.